Have you ever noticed those leftover foam pieces from electronic boxes or packaging? Instead of throwing them away, why not turn them into something super useful? Start by breaking the foam pieces into smaller chunks, then crush them thoroughly until they turn into fine, lightweight bits. It's very light, so it can blow all over the place and be hard to clean up. Be careful. So, are you ready to get started? Let's turn this trash into treasure together. Next, prepare a round piece of wood with a small hole in the center and a rivet. This will be the base for our project, helping to hold everything firmly in place. I'll secure the rivet into this piece of wood. I'll carefully place these foam pieces into the hole, pressing them down a bit so they fit snugly inside. This will help keep them steady while I continue with the next steps of the project. Next, I'll add a few drops of super glue to hold everything firmly in place. Make sure to apply it carefully so the foam stays secure without making a mess. As the super glue drips onto the foam starts to dissolve as soon as the glue touches it, melting slightly and forming a sticky, compact layer. This reaction helps the pieces bond tightly together, making the structure even more solid. Now, place the rivet on top of the glued foam while it's still soft. Press it down gently so it sinks in a little and stays centered. This will help the rivet bond firmly once the glue fully hardens. When combined, the melted foam and the rivet create a firm, stable joint. The foam acts like a cushion that fills in any gaps, while the hardened glue locks everything tightly together. This makes a connection both strong and durable, perfect for holding small parts in place. Once the glue is fully dry, you can really feel how firm the connection has become. The rivet is locked tightly in place, and the foam, which is hardened around it, forms a solid base that feels almost like plastic. Even if you try to twist or press on it, nothing moves. It stays completely stable. This strong bond shows how effective the combination of foam and glue can be when used the right way. Now I'll attach it to the drill, and just like that, you can turn it into a roller. You can even stick sandpaper onto it to use as a sanding tool, perfect for smoothing surfaces or polishing small items. After finishing all the preparations, it's time to move on to the main part, fixing this fan. This fan is quite old, and part of its plastic frame is broken off, leaving a noticeable gap. The damaged area looks rough and uneven, making the fan appear worn out and less appealing. Now, I'm going to remove the broken part so I can start fixing it properly. Next, I need to patch up this broken piece. I'll carefully fill in the gap and reinforce it, so the frame becomes strong and looks much better. I'll use a soldering iron to weld it, but the tip on this one is really small, which would take a lot of time. So instead, I'm going to switch to this flat-headed bolt to replace the soldering tip, making the job faster and more efficient. Next, I'll take a piece of wire mesh to use as a support frame. This will provide a sturdy base and help hold the repaired part securely in place while I work on it. I'll repurpose an old sieve to use for this. It's perfect as a support or holder, saving me the need to buy anything new while still giving a strong, stable base. I'll carefully cut the sieve to fit the broken section perfectly, making sure it aligns with the damaged area. This way, it will provide precise support and blend seamlessly with the fan's frame. I'll use a soldering iron to weld the wire mesh securely onto the broken section, making sure it's firmly fixed in place and provides strong support for the damaged area. Once soldered, the wire mesh feels incredibly solid. It's tightly bonded to the broken frame, so there's no wobbling or shifting. The repaired area now has a sturdy structure that can withstand pressure, giving the fan both strength and stability. Next, I'll stick some tape underneath as a cushion. This will provide a soft layer and extra support before I move on to the final fixing step, helping the repair hold even better. Now, I'll spread the foam over the taped area and combine it with super glue. The foam will fill in any gaps and, once the glue sets, create a solid, reinforced layer that strengthens the repair even more. This foam and glue mixture works perfectly for patching because it's both flexible and strong. The foam fills in cracks and uneven spots, while the super glue hardens it into a solid layer. Together, they create a durable patch that sticks firmly to the surface, making the repair long-lasting and resistant to pressure or movement. You could use other materials instead of foam, but they would be much heavier. Foam is ideal because it's lightweight, easy to shape, and still provides strong support when combined with glue, whereas heavier alternatives might make the repaired area bulky or harder to handle. Once the foam is fully filled in, it completely covers the broken area. Now, it needs some time to dry and harden, allowing the patch to set firmly and become strong enough for the next steps. The foam and glue patch is now hardened, leaving a solid, smooth surface where the broken section used to be. To smooth out this area, I'll stick coarse sandpaper onto the roller. This will help even out the surface and remove any rough edges from the patch. Once it's dry, I'll remove the tape. I'll trim off any excess foam, carefully shaping it so the repaired area looks neat and even with the rest of the frame. Next, I'll attach the roller to the drill. This allows me to sand the repaired area efficiently, using the drill's rotation to smooth the surface evenly. I'll turn on the drill and start sanding the surface roughly. The coarse sandpaper will quickly remove uneven spots and shape the patched area to match the rest of the frame. After the rough sanding, the surface is already much smoother, but to make it look even better, I'll follow up with finer sandpaper. First 600 grit, then 1500 grit. This will give the patch a polished, nearly seamless finish. As I sand with the fine grit paper, the surface becomes progressively smoother. The scratches from the coarse sandpaper disappear, and the patch starts to blend seamlessly with the surrounding plastic. You can almost see it taking on a polished, uniform look, ready for finishing touches. Next, I'll spray some WD-40 onto the surface and wipe it clean with a cloth. This helps remove any remaining dust or debris from sanding, leaving the repaired area shiny and smooth. After wiping it down, the surface looks clean and polished. The patch blends seamlessly with the rest of the frame, and the repaired area feels smooth to the touch, ready for use. Next, I'll spray a coat of paint over the repaired area. This not only restores the fan's original look, but also helps protect the patch. Giving it a uniform color and a finished, professional appearance. After spraying the paint, the repaired area looks smooth and even, seamlessly matching the rest of the fan. The color is uniform, and the surface has a fresh, polished finish, making the repair almost unnoticeable. And that's it. The fan is fully repaired. What was once a broken, unsightly frame is now strong, smooth, and visually restored. With just a few simple materials and steps, we've turned a damaged item into something functional and nearly as good as new. It's a perfect example of how a little creativity and effort can give old things a second life. If you found this guide helpful, give it a try yourself. Don't throw away broken items. With some DIY magic, you can fix, restore, and even improve them. Share your results and inspire others to turn trash into treasure.